I'm gonna ride the chariot in the morning, Lord. I'm gonna ride the chariot in the morning, Lord. I'm getting ready for the judgment day. My Lord, my Lord. I'm gonna ride the chariot in the morning, Lord. I'm gonna ride the chariot in the morning, Lord. I'm getting ready for the judgment day. My Lord, my Lord. Are you ready, my brother? Oh, yeah. Are you ready for the journey? Oh, yeah. Do you want to see my Jesus? Oh, yes. I'm waiting for the chariot 'cause I'm ready to go. Are you ready, my sister? Oh, yeah. Are you ready for the journey? Oh, yeah. Do you want to see my Jesus? Oh, yes. I'm waiting for the chariot 'cause I'm ready to go. I'm gonna ride the chariot in the morning, Lord. I'm gonna ride the chariot in the morning, Lord. I'm getting ready for the judgment day. My Lord, my Lord. I'm gonna ride the chariot in the morning, Lord. I'm gonna ride the chariot in the morning, Lord. I'm getting ready for the judgment day. My Lord, my Lord. I'll never forget that day. Riding the chariot to see my Lord. When all sins were taken away. Riding the chariot to see my Lord. I'll never forget that day. Riding the chariot to see my Lord. I'll see my Lord in judgment day. Riding the chariot to see my Lord. I'm gonna ride the chariot in the morning, Lord. I'm gonna ride the chariot in the morning, Lord. I'm getting ready for the judgment day. My Lord, my Lord. I'm gonna ride the chariot in the morning, Lord. I'm gonna ride the chariot in the morning, Lord. I'm gonna ride in the chariot to see my Lord, to see my Lord.
Welcome. I want to welcome you, dear brothers and sisters, once again to your favorite show, The Journey of Life. Now, in this show, we talk about the real life experiences, things that we have gone through in life. Some of them are so good, some of them very difficult and so bad. It could even be bereavements, loss of loved ones, loss of health, loss of maybe acquisitions, things that we worked for that are lost in one way or the other, whatever it is. Now, the most important thing as we go through this lesson or these sessions is that there are lessons that whatever experience we have gone through leaves us with in life. And it is these lessons that we seek to share through telling our stories. My name is Watson Biriri. I'm a pastor and the anchor for this show. I just want to welcome you all. And today, I'm delighted to introduce and welcome in a very special way someone who has come from a very long, indeed, a long ways to be with us. I want to welcome you in a very special way, my dear sister. How are you?
I'm good, Pastor. Thank you, Pastor.
Thank you so much for coming. And so I want you to introduce yourself and also to greet our viewers out there. Tell us your name and where you come from, just whatever you're comfortable to share with us about yourself.
Thank you very much, Pastor. My name is a Malagasy name, Oliva Veronique Ramanampiarsu, spouse Rakotonirina, and
Okay, may I come again?
my name is Oliva Veronique Ramanampiarsu, spouse Rakotonirina.
Yeah.
So I got the second last name from my husband because I'm married to Tirniana Rakotonirina Angiana Armanana, and we have been blessed with two beautiful daughters, Kalinaniana Oliva Rakotonirina and Cantoniana Rakotonirina.
Wow.
Yes.
Wow. At this point, I'm convinced that Malagasy people really know how to give names. They
yes,
name you
Pastor.
until you are named.
Yes, Pastor, you're right.
Was it easy for you to learn to write your name, like when you start in school and so on? It looks like
Yeah, it was not complicated.
Oh, it was not
Yeah,
complicated.
yeah.
Wow. Yeah, that's quite interesting. So
Yeah.
for short, we can say Sister Oliver. Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah, that's fine, Pastor.
Yeah, that's all right.
You can
It's
just
okay.
call me Oliva. It's
Oliver.
fine. Yes.
Yeah, that's all right. That's all right. This is a Malagasy Oliver, not the other Oliver, the English one that
No.
maybe most of us here are used to, and so on. So we're here to talk about experience of culture shock.
Yes,
And when you
Pastor.
talk about culture shock, that's a situation where someone is experiencing something for the first time, which is different to what they are used to. And it comes like as a shock. And one can get, disoriented, almost like you're powerless. You don't know what to do. Maybe feeling like a fish out of water.
Indeed.
Feeling like a fish out of water. So tell us what happened, what were the circumstances that brought you into culture shock?
Pastor, you know what? I think it was on 2017. We had to leave our beautiful country. It's a beautiful island. It's called Madagascar.
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 You know the Madagascar that many people know? It's when the movie was made, Madagascar.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, everyone was just talking Madagascar. But,
Yes,
and for the
but-
first time, some people were looking up on the world map. Where is
Yes,
this country?
Where is this country? And it's not far from South Africa.
Yeah, of course, most
It's
people
not
in Africa
far.
would know.
Yes.
But overseas.
It's
Oh,
overseas.
yeah. Some people really, had not known where
Yeah.
the place is. But it's a beautiful place.
Yeah, it's a beautiful place, and it was a bit hard for us to leave our country because it's home.
Yeah, it's home.
It's home, yes, and
So what were the circumstances? What prompted you to move?
Yeah.
And where were you moving to?
yes, Pastor, I'll tell you a story.
Yes.
It was on 2017. We had to leave our country. We had to leave Madagascar, and myself and my family, because God called us. So He called us to be missionaries here in South Africa. And we are working here as missionaries, serving. Myself, I serve through the youth department of our division. So we had to forget everything about Madagascar. Now we have to live in a new world, and everything is just new. We have to face new people, new environment, new food.
I want to hear more about the new environment. You remember, like we talked about, a fish out of water.
Yes.
You were born in Madagascar. You grew up there. You know every corner. So many people and everything like that. You've got support systems, like family members and so on. But now you're moving to South Africa.
Yes.
Was it your first time on the mainland African continent?
Yes, Pastor.
It was your first time,
It's my-
2017.
2017, my first flight.
Oh, your first time, flying.
Yes,
and,
flight
first time on the mainland,
mainland, yes.
Africa. Okay, so I can imagine that there are many things that were new or that were different to the way you're used to doing things in Madagascar. May you point out some of those things, that became part of your new cultural experience when you got to South Africa?
Okay, when I go to South Africa, first of all, people are different.
Okay.
New people.
Okay.
Everywhere
okay.
you go,
Every face is
every face
unfamiliar.
is unfamiliar, and now we are in South Africa.
Yes.
Food, different.
Okay.
Even the way you go to get your groceries, it's
All right.
different from what we experienced in Madagascar. When we want to get food, we just go to the market and we just get organic food from everywhere,
the
not
market,
far.
like from the vegetable market or a
Yes.
farmer's market.
Yes.
Okay.
And it's not far from our house. But for now, South Africa, you have to drive for at least 10, 15 minutes to get to the mall.
Oh,
That's where you
alright.
get everything. And I want to share with you my experience that
Yeah.
when first time I came here, my husband had to leave me. And I had to get used with everything, to get adapted with the situation, the new environment, new people, new, everything was just new for
Okay.
me.
So soon after you got to South Africa, your husband needed to travel
Yes, Pastor.
because of work.
Because of work
and you had
and
to remain with who?
because of work, he had to leave. Because of study, he had to leave. Like for study, he had to leave for 3 months.
Oh, 3 months.
We just arrived 1 week in South Africa. Then he had to leave me with my 2 small babies. The firstborn was only 7 years old during that time, and the little one was just 3 months. So can you imagine a mother staying alone with the 2 babies and had to face all of those new things, new experiences, new people.
New way of, shopping for your food.
Shopping for our food.
Okay.
Hey, Pastor, it was not easy at all.
And what was the most difficult part?
The most difficult part,
Yes, of
Pastor,
of this whole experience.
of this all experience, says Pastor, it was the challenge, big challenge with language. Because you know our country is a French speaking country, and English was something very different also for us, new things that we had to.
It was so foreign to your
So foreign
ears
to
and
our
your
ears, our tongue, and your accent. South African people accent was totally different. We have heard English in Madagascar, but in a different accent.
It was served
So
different flavor.
Different
now you're
flavor.
getting the South African flavor of English. And
yes.
so you have to, even words that you know, you might have to listen even more carefully.
Yeah, even we tried to listen carefully, Pastor. We got lost. Let me tell you an experience. We went to church. When we arrived, every Sabbath we went to church. But unfortunately, we got back home with empty mind, with nothing that we could get. It was unfortunate, but that was the situation we had to face.
Wow.
It was not easy at all.
Wow. So, the difficulty of then having to, the next Sabbath, to prepare to go again, knowing that you will not understand anything. Wow. Was it the same for your husband, or it was just you and the kids
Actually,
in this kind of situation? Or your husband, what was his level of proficiency with English, the English language?
As I mentioned, my husband had to leave me. Yet he had already experienced, because before we moved to South Africa, he had the opportunity to travel
to different
places, including South Africa. But for me, as I mentioned at the beginning, it was my first experience to leave my country and to get to another country. South Africa is the first country
that you visited outside of Madagascar.
So for him, he was okay, but he had to leave me. So that's why I had to face all of the challenges by myself and with my 2 babies, small babies, alone.
Wow.
Yeah, so you mentioned something about experience when we had to go to church to prepare for the next Sabbath. I knew, but us, we always, when we used to go to church, when I was in Madagascar, I used to serve the Lord in the church. I was active. I was involved in different departments. But because of English, when I arrived, I became totally a different person. I was no longer myself when I came to South Africa.
And what you're describing, it is something that is the disorientation
Yes.
that comes. You know, it's maybe for someone who is within the comfort of their own culture, their own country, among their own people, it's difficult to imagine what you're saying. But
Yeah.
it's so true that when you travel, if I were to imagine myself, or to any viewer out there, let's take, for example, those who are Zimbabweans. Imagine yourself having to travel, and now you're relocating. You're going to be staying in Brazil, in Sao Paulo. You know, you don't know anybody else there, and everything. You might have been known maybe as a good Sabbath school teacher here. You might have been a preacher and so on. All of a sudden, you are almost nothing. Yes. You know, the disorientation.
Indeed.
the powerlessness.
Indeed,
almost like
Pastor.
a sense of helplessness. You know, that is part of that culture shock. You have so much to say, but you have no words.
No words.
To say it in.
Indeed.
Because your language doesn't apply here.
Yes, you can't even share. You can even express your feeling.
You can,
Yeah,
yes.
like personally myself, I was just taking my kids to the Sabbath school, where the kids would be busy with the Sabbath school things, but me, I was just quiet in my corner. Even the parents were participating in the Sabbath school lessons for the kids. I was just quiet. Even I had lots of things that I could share, because I used to work with kids in Madagascar, and I used to talk. I used to be very active. I used to be very much involved. Even
active.
leaders. I'm telling you, I could even participate with preaching on a Sabbath day, or because I was one of the leaders in our church, and that was a very big, as you said, disorientation. Yes,
yeah, disorientation.
Yes,
where you
Pastor.
feel like, where am I?
Like I'm lost.
You know,
Indeed.
I'm lost.
I'm lost.
And it can be so frustrating.
Frustrating,
Yeah,
indeed.
it can be so frustrating. You may feel like you're almost like useless.
Useless.
And
Indeed.
things like that and so on. You know, so how was it for the kids?
For the kids, my girls told me her own experience when we spoke about it in our house. Like, Mommy, you know, when we came, I always remember what I did, because we we had our neighbors, so they went. So kids are so free to play with others, with the other kids.
Yeah.
So she joined the kids. So she told me what I did, Mommy. Everything that they said, I only knew about yes and no. So I just said, when I like it, I say yes. When I don't like it, I say no.
Say no.
Yes.
Wow.
So that's the experience. But you know, kids are very quick. They went to school, and she went to school, the firstborn, because the little one was still 3 months. But the firstborn, she went to one of our school in South Africa, and she was so quick. Just 3 months being together with others, she got English.
Yes.
So quick, so quick.
So
But
quick.
for us adults, no, it's not that easy. It's not that
you know,
easy.
yeah, that's very true.
Yeah.
You know, I remember studying at a university somewhere when I was studying in Asia. It's a church school. It's run by the General Conference, and it has people from all over. I think at the time we're there were people from about 70 countries, 70. So basically from all over the world, and many would come from different parts of the world, and they couldn't speak English, and they had to go into the English center to learn English first, like 1 year to learn English, and they have to write exams. You know, these are rigorous exams, and they have to pass so that they can start their studies. What was interesting was their children would just be playing, and they would pick English so fast without a single cent being paid.
Yes,
but the
Pastor.
parents,
Struggle.
would be struggling.
Struggle.
You know, it was so difficult. And so, you know, it's so real. It's so real. The struggle is so real, of culture shock.
And it's so painful, Pastor.
Yeah, it's so painful. You know, learning a new language as an adult, it's not a small thing.
It's not a small thing.
And, you know, so I just want to, you're strong. Here we are, sitting
praise God.
and having this interview in English. Just a few years ago, you didn't have, you couldn't converse in English
Yes,
when you came
Pastor.
to South Africa.
I will tell you another experience.
Yes.
when
So
you-
this was at church.
This was at church.
Yes. And then
And
another
now,
experience.
another experience is when I go to I went to the mall to get what we wanted.
Yes.
So everyone.
Your husband was away still?
He was away still.
Wow.
Yes. All of these experiences, my husband was away. Yes, during it.
So what you had was really a baptism of fire. You were
Oh,
just
Pastor,
thrown
I'm
into
telling
the
you.
deep end. Either you swim or you drown.
Indeed.
And you swam,
Yeah.
and here
Yes,
you
Pastor.
are. So
And
what happened in the mall?
so when I was in the mall, to get to the mall, I had to drive. In Madagascar, we drove in the
You drive on the correct side.
On the correct side, yes, on the correct side. But now we drive on the wrong side, indeed. So that was another experience. I had to go to the mall, and I had to adapt myself how to adapt with the wrong side driving. So I tried to turn in the roundabout that we had in our estate where we stayed. So I started there, and I had to be strong. I said, God, I had to face this.
Okay.
So I decided to get out through the gate. Then I went to the mall. The mall was not that far from our place. There was a mall that was 5 minutes away from our place. So that was the first experience, first drive in South Africa. Yeah. The kids were in the car, and the small baby, I had to put her in the left side with the baby seat.
Okay, on the passenger side.
On the passenger side, yes, Pastor. And she started to cry. It disturbed me. But I said, no, I had to face this. So I drove, and it went well. I arrived to the shop. Now, another challenge is English.
So
because,
I mean, just that one
yes,
is
Pastor.
on. It's quite something, driving on the other side. Like we follow the British system here because of the British influence, Zimbabwe, South Africa, and a number of other countries like Zambia and so on that had British influence. But it's only when you go out there that we also realize that, I mean, many countries, they actually drive on the other side.
Yes.
And for sure, it is, when you're not used to that, you even go to the wrong side.
To the wrong side,
that,
indeed.
whether a passenger or a driver, and so on. So you had to learn to drive.
And you see,
on a different side of the road.
Yes, Pastor.
And the steering wheel is on the wrong side.
On the wrong side, yes. And besides that, in Madagascar we had robots, but only in few places.
Okay.
So we know how to respect each other when it comes to the rule.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
Here,
intersections, we have the robot. I didn't even know when should I go, when should I stop, but I just followed the other cars. Then now I need to stop. I've experienced lots of things. That's how I learned how to drive here in South Africa.
Okay.
It's through all the experiences on the road.
Wow.
Sometimes we got
just
lost.
The car in front of you?
Yes. Sometimes we got lost. Sometimes, the challenge is sometimes I had to face, like, I was the first one on the Bible robot, so everyone has to follow me now. So if I would made mistake, if I made mistake, everyone would follow. Maybe not that, but I might not be happy, or if I can even bump me, if that's the case.
I can imagine.
So now we are in the mall.
Cringing.
Yeah.
That's quite something.
Now we are in the mall, Pastor.
Yes.
And
now we are inside.
Inside of the mall.
Because just getting to the mall
is another experience. So now we are in the mall, and remember I told you in the beginning that as we used to go to the market just to get what we wanted to get, tomatoes, everything in open market.
Okay.
Yes, everything we can get, even clothes, everything.
Oh, sure.
Market, yes, everything.
Okay. Is this in Antananarivo?
Antananarivo, everywhere in Madagascar.
Everywhere
we also have a mall, but in general we go to the market.
Okay, in general.
In general,
okay.
Yes.
Okay.
So now in the mall, I didn't even know what to give to my small baby of 3 months. I had to ask people, where can I get the food of the baby? Which type of food should I give to the baby? And even for us, spinach, different. all type of spinaches. I didn't find any Malagasy spinach in the in the mall. The
In the
fruits.
South African mall, you couldn't find
I
Malagasy
couldn't
spinach.
no. And you know, we eat rice.
Yeah.
So now I have to find where to find the rice in this big place. So I got to the shop. It seemed like it was easy. I went because I could see everything in general. But now when it comes to the specific of items that I wanted to get, I had to talk and ask people.
Yeah.
If not, I would stay in the mall forever.
Yeah.
So it was hard, Pastor. I tried to talk with the people that I saw there, I met there. So I tried to talk. If I couldn't even get what I meant, what were you looking? What do you talk? Like, it was a funny.
So, what were you attempting English, or you
I
were
had
just
to.
using French?
I
or
had to.
Malagasy?
Because, you know, I've heard English in Madagascar. I went actually to an English teaching program in Madagascar, but I didn't take it seriously because I never thought I would
There you
move
get
to.
it. Take your lessons seriously. Some of you are doing French in school. Some of you are doing Chinese or Portuguese, or it could also be, you know, what's this one is spoken in Eastern Africa. You know, I'm remembering all the European languages
Yes,
and
Pastor.
forgetting the African one. And so on. Kiswahili. I mean, take your lessons seriously. Somebody here, was exposed to English in Madagascar, she didn't take it seriously. Where am I going to use this? But now she's in the mall.
Yes, and now even to open the mouth, it was a struggle. Because if we took seriously what we did in Madagascar, at least I could say something.
Oh, yeah,
words.
you could have said
Yes.
something.
So
But
it was,
you didn't think you would need it, really.
yeah,
Yeah,
That's
one
the
day
things.
you would find yourself in a South African mall.
and it was a regret.
It was a regret.
It was
It was a struggle.
a struggle.
So in other words, you were approaching shop attendants, trying
Yes.
to ask.
Trying to ask, but that lady, she couldn't even get what I wanted. So finally, I had to help myself to get
Okay.
what and to find what I wanted to get from the shop. It
Oh,
was
okay.
it was
Yeah,
in
so
a pick and pay shop.
It didn't
Yes,
work.
Pastor, it
This
didn't
thing
work.
of trying to ask somebody didn't
No,
work.
it didn't work. But you know what?
Did you have a phone where you could maybe type what you wanted in French, and then it's translated to English?
With baby Pastor at home, you know, even time, you
Uh-huh.
know, I remember I had that small baby of 3 months, and it was just hectic at home,
Oh,
and even
okay, so
time to
ish.
Google what. Sometimes you think of doing that, but you got stressed, and your mind doesn't work properly what to do. When the baby is crying, you have to attend to the baby, and just to
You're so frustrated. everything
because you
like that,
have. Remember, I had to adapt myself with all of those situations,
those things.
driving, going to the
Okay.
mall, talking,
Yes,
and
looking for Malagasy
looking
spinach.
for spinach.
You know, that's something that when you move to a different country and, place, food, because food is a very important
Very
part
important.
of our culture.
Yeah.
You know, there are certain tastes that are used
You're
to.
looking
Yeah,
for.
that you're looking for.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, for example, I can tell you experiences that I've also had when we lived in the Philippines. You know, that so much variety in terms of bread.
Yeah.
So many. But to tell you the truth, until I left we lived there 6 years.
You never
I
found
never
it.
found bread that tastes like bread as I know it in Zimbabwe.
We experience it, Pastor.
You know, and then here I am. I went into the shop, bought myself peanut butter, and so on. Went home, put it on bread, and what? There's sugar in the peanut butter. Who puts sugar in peanut butter?
Oh,
know,
yes, Pastor.
My taste buds were shocked. What is this? Sugar and peanut butter don't go together. That's according to my culture
Yeah.
and orientation to food. So these are some of the things. I mean, I'm sure you also had those kind of experiences
Yeah,
around
Pastor,
food.
indeed.
Looking for Malagasy
For
spinach in
Malagasy
South Africa.
not only spinach, Pastor,
You
but
people in South Africa, you should plant Malagasy spinach. Look
Yes.
now, my sister is in trouble in the mall. She can't find a spinach.
no,
Eh?
we can have our own garden now for
Oh, we
the
can have
Malagasy
your-
spinach. We can't wait forever.
Yes. Wow, that's
Yes,
great.
Pastor.
That's great.
So, you know, and one thing that I'm grateful for is like God was always in our side, and even with we think that those things are minor things, but when you experience it, as in, I think maybe people you haven't moved from your own country, home country, but one day you might experience it, and you will feel it that, oh, we think it's minor, but when you experience it, you struggle and you feel it's painful sometimes. You would even cry.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
You even cry. Did you cry?
Oh, many times, Pastor. I'm telling you.
Sure.
When I came, because remember my husband was far from me, and sometimes when I faced, I would cry, like, God, why are you taking us to this place? What's your plan for us? We questioned God, why, and now we can't even talk. People, even we go to church. Yes, even we go to church. Why we didn't get anything from the pastor, from the sermon, from the we can't. Now, I told you that my personality, I can share it with you. My personality, you know, my dad he was a master. He used to be a master guide.
Okay.
And now he's in France, and he's because of health treatment, he's no longer involved in the youth, but he used to be he used to be a master guide.
But I'm sure he's proud to know that his daughter is a personal assistant to the youth director. At
very
Division.
proud.
He must be proud.
Yeah,
we thank God for his ministry and his prayers and his service to the Lord.
And you know, it helped. Sorry, Pastor, to interrupt you. It helped me a lot, the way he involved me in the youth ministries, because that's where I learned how to live with others, how to face difficulties, how to face challenges in life. And when I came here, I used to be friendly with everyone because I used to be involved in the youth. Yeah, so it helped. When I was in the mall, then another story. In the mall, we are still in the mall now. And what I did, even if I didn't get what I did, I didn't get upset or what.
Okay.
I tried to be friendly with everyone. So
even just smiling.
Even I couldn't talk. I tried to use my English. When they said that we don't get what you're trying to ask to say. So I was even trying to smile, like, oh, okay, it's okay. Everything is just, it's okay. And you know, the way you express yourself, that I'm not even shocked with what you do. Even deep inside of you, it's painful. They tried to help you because you're friendly with people. You want to, you don't want to show that you're not helping me. I'm not happy with you. Let me leave. We must just forget about pride or what. Wherever you go, it helps.
It helps.
People, you know, I will tell you, to make the story short. Like, all of those people, they never forgot me. Until now, they know me.
Oh, sure.
And now we can talk, and we are friends. And
in the mall.
Wow. There was time in the mall, I lost my ticket for the gate because of a baby. I struggled with a baby and struggled to find the spinach. And so those people, because they knew I was so friendly, even I struggled to talk with them. They would come and ask, what do you need? So I tried to explain using sign languages what they did, everything, that my ticket was lost. And they could even help. And sometimes they even paid for me for the tickets and helped us to get out from the mall. That experience was minor. Maybe people think that that's a small, simple experience, but it meant a lot, and I never forgot, because the way I became friends with that people in that mall,
and then you became part of that community.
And I became part of that community. And I think in every single situation, God was always with me, and He helped me, and all my experiences in youth, it helped me. And now, you still want to hear more about the story?
Yeah, I'm actually thinking about, I didn't have such difficult experiences in South African malls, but there's a moment that I remember, just small, something. Some years ago, I was in Johannesburg. I was in a shop. So I don't remember what item I was looking at by the shelf. And there was someone behind me, and they were saying, Askis.
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 Yes.
Askis. I mean, Askis doesn't mean nothing to me.
Indeed.
From Zimbabwe.
Yes.
I mean, in the Zimbabwean context.
Even for us.
Yeah, it didn't mean anything. You know, this Askis kept on coming. I said, I mean, what's going on with this person? That's when I realized when they motioned, they wanted, it was excuse me.
Excuse me.
You know, Askis. So, I mean, even though it was to a limited extent, but that is, you're in a different culture. You are reminded that, oh, okay, this is a different place. So now I know what Askis means.
Yeah.
But then I didn't know what Askis is.
Even,
you know?
even the way they say sister, for us it's sister or mother or brother.
Yes.
Now we have to train our tongue to say sister.
Oh, sister.
Mother. Quota.
Oh, that.
Yes, Pastor. And sometimes when you say sister,
sister,
they wouldn't even understand. It's not only me now, but even the people that you interact with, they wouldn't get what he's trying to say. Sister. What is sister? What is sister? What is quarter? Especially about the day, what is quarter?
Okay.
It must be quarter or sister.
All right.
Only
sister.
that's when they will understand you.
You get it? You have to say it right. Sister. Sister. Brother. Father. Water. I'm always in trouble with my, you know, especially my daughter, our daughter, for this and so on. Because when we moved when we went to the Philippines, she didn't speak English. She spoke Shona. She was 2.5 years old. And I remember also part of the frustration that, you know, the culture shock for her at her age because she didn't speak English. And she was speaking to everyone in Shona, whether they were from Peru, or they were coming from German. She was just speaking in Shona. And how come these people are not friendly to me? And she would cry.
Yes.
Cry rivers.
And I'm sure that it was not her personality. Yes,
no, it was not. It was not, because it was honestly because of this. And now it begins to affect you also as parents. And, you know, you try to do, I mean, come on, you'll be okay, and everything like that. And I remember one time she was playing with, in a friend's house, some friends of ours from Ghana. And they had a daughter who was like an age mate. And so this daughter to our friends was crying. And she kept on, Chico, Deborah. Deborah Chico.
Oh.
You know, Chico. That's really someone who's saying, what is it, my friend? What's going on? Why are you crying? You know, Chico. You know? And so the mother came over, asked my wife, what is Chico? You know? And so on the other time, she wanted to play with a boy called Misael, son to one of my friends from Peru. And, you know, my Misael, Vrado. My Misael. She was knocking on this door. It was a Sabbath afternoon. She was longing for people to play with. My Misael, Vrado. You know, she's talking to Peruvian people in Shona.
In Shona.
Vrado, my Misael. And she was really longing for friendship and so on. So, like you rightly said, Sister Oliver, for a person who has not experienced it, it's like it's minor.
It's
what
like
are you talking
minor.
about?
Yes,
there are more
something
serious things to talk
they can
about.
even say it's funny.
Yeah, it's funny. I mean, really? Can we really talk about this?
Yes.
But believe you me, it is really serious.
Serious.
You may not be the person who's moving. It could be someone who's moved into your community and into your neighborhood. There are different degrees of culture shock. If you're an African just within Africa, well, a certain level, maybe you can move within your country. You can move within the continent. You can move overseas and everything like that. But for you, it's almost like moving overseas.
Yes.
You know, of course, you crossed the channel to come onto the main continent, mainland Africa, but because of the language.
Because of the language.
And everything like that. So what you're saying is, it is important to take note of people that may be new in your church, in your community, people who may be experiencing culture shock and everything like that, and take note of those people and try to be as helpful as you can. It helps them to adjust and to settle in faster because It can be simple things, you know, like
You can even just smile, Pastor.
yes,
Just smile
yes,
and
just smile.
show even even they don't talk to you. You never know
Yes.
what they are facing. They might not even want to share with you
Yes.
their problem on that time in church. But even, and I've experienced it. Many people in our church, they tried to smile and to
they'll
welcome
just
you.
smile too.
It helps. Even at least for that, I came to church. You mentioned in the beginning, like to prepare for the next Sabbath, because what you have experienced last Sabbath, are you still willing to go back to church next
Yeah.
Sabbath? But you know, for me, I kept on going because, and as I said, I used to be involved in church, and I feel like when you don't go to church, you feel like, no,
Yeah.
it's different on a Sabbath day for
Oh,
us
yeah.
to stay in
Yeah.
church.
Yeah. Yeah.
You would always feel it like,
Yeah. Yeah. That's
even
very
you
true.
didn't, even I didn't get anything from church. I felt like I came from
Church.
Sabbath because you know the presence of God in
Yes,
church.
and
You
you
always
can say
feel
your
it.
silent prayers,
Your silent prayers
God
and
will-
everything. So it's not only about like because you don't know English and you
So-
don't need to go to church, but the presence of God, you would feel it.
Because God understands
Because
Malagasy,
God understands,
God
yes.
understands French,
French,
whatever
everything,
language.
yes.
That's why the Three Angels messages is to
Yes.
all the languages and all the peoples, all
Yeah.
cultures, and so on and so on.
So, Pastor, I would like to address to the viewers that this, if you can, this experience of mine, I can share with you. It was. You might think it was easy. Why? Something that is very simple, but please, whenever you see people that are new in your church, that seems like they're quiet, you never know what is that person struggle with. So please help, even just with your smile. Just do it. Just
do
to
it.
welcome. They will feel comfortable. And it helps. It might change their life, entire life even.
That's great. Thank you so much for that. So, how did you then learn English? Now you are speaking articulately, eloquently.
Hey,
and
Pastor,
so on.
that's encouraging to hear.
Yes,
I
and I'm
still need
sure-
to make a
and I'm
big
sure even
effort.
back in Madagascar, people say, wow, is this Oliver?
Is this Oliver? Speak
Yeah,
English?
so what did you do to learn? Did you read a book? Did you, or it was
Yes.
just through talking, or?
I never forgot, Pastor. When I was in South Africa, I met someone in a church, and that one suggested me read the book, read the Bible in English. Don't, because I used to come to church with my Malagasy and sometimes French Bible to go to church, but I was advised to read the Bible in English. It helps. Then I decided to do so. It helped. And I must tell you that when we arrived, my husband was away for 3 months. During his absence, I received a call from the ICD, because when I arrived, I was not started. I didn't start to work at ICD, but I had to wait a little bit. So they called me for an interview first, because everything must go through all the process. So they called me for an interview for an accounting position. Now, you know,
And
at
this
that
interview was
time,
not in Malagasy.
it must
was not
happen
in French.
in
It was in proper English.
proper English, Pastor. And you know, but because I was also working in Madagascar, so I used to work in a big company selling cars. Then after that, we decided to move to the church. So I was working as a departmental secretary in one of our conferences in Madagascar. So that's also part of God's plan for my life. So I was working as a departmental secretary, and I had all of the experiences in the department. I was not perfect, but I got the experiences. So when the ICG called me for an interview for an accounting position, can you... I think you can imagine with my English, accounting, besides the numbers, the technical terms.
Yes, technical terms.
I think
and the-
if I didn't even want to hear what was my marks, but I failed the interview,
Yeah.
and it was a very, how can I
So how did
say
you take
it?
that? So before you were even told the result, you were convinced that you had not done it.
Actually, I was very excited.
Okay.
I got ready for the interview.
Yes.
I was excited
To go for the
to go
interview.
for the interview, and I went. I prayed, God, thank you for the opportunity to go through the interview. I was so excited, but before when I got to the office, I started to tremble
To tremble.
because I had to go to the treasury department where the office was. So seeing the people speaking in English, and I couldn't hear anything. I started
And
to
you're
get
about to be
worried.
interviewed.
Yes, and I had to wait to the room where I was supposed to do the test and the interview. First, I went through the test. In the test, technical terms, everything about accounting, totally lost. Nothing that I could read, but I tried to put something on my paper.
Okay, you scribbled something.
Yes. And
Okay.
after
I
that,
think many people have had that feeling in an
yes.
exam where you are really seeing stars.
Yeah.
But you just putting something
Put
on
something
paper.
on paper. Yes, I tried.
Okay, but
Yes.
your background was business
Because I
studies.
didn't want to show that I didn't want to do anything. At least if I could see that I wrote
Okay,
something.
okay.
And after
Atsinyarwa.
that, yes, Pastor, after that,
Yeah.
I still, they said, one of the secretaries came to warn me that you're going to to go through the interview, and 5 people came to interview me that day. Big people had, I said, in treasury department, and I think HR department, and a few people from the department. So, hey, I started to shake.
Wow. To quake.
Hey, Pastor, it was not an easy, that short time of interview. It was a very, I can say it was a disaster experience.
It was a disaster.
Yes.
So you couldn't understand even many of the things
I
they were saying.
couldn't understand because
the language barrier.
I went already through the writing.
The
I knew
written,
already.
then now it's the oral.
Yes, now it's the oral, and I knew that I didn't do anything during the writing, so now I still have to face again the oral interview, and I was discouraged. So, of course, I failed the interview.
You failed it
Very-
convincingly.
Yes, Pastor. So I went back to my kids, to my the 2 daughters. That day, I had someone to take care of my kids when I left for the interview.
Yes.
Now, another chance that, another opportunity that God wanted me to go through.
Okay.
God
Yeah,
gave
alright.
me another opportunity to go through an interview 2 weeks after that one. Same, I said it.
And
So-
so you got an opportunity for another interview,
For another
a different
interview,
position
a
now.
different position, no, because what I could tell to people that could speak French is I told them that I'm still willing to go through another interview if there is another opportunity for me. So I think they kept that in mind.
Okay.
That's why I went through another interview when there was another opportunity, and I think that's part of God's plan.
Yeah, it's part
Yeah.
of God's plan. And
So-
the extent to which language can really be a barrier or a bridge or an
Yeah.
enabler and so on. I remember you once sharing about your experience at the church that you were asked to give a lesson, women ministries, I
Yes,
suppose.
I will tell you.
Briefly, maybe in the interest of our time.
Okay.
What happened there and what happened after?
Okay, Pastor.
Yes.
Yes. So now let me just end the story of the interview. I went to the interview for the second interview,
okay, yes.
and another experience before that is like I still had to look for another one for someone to take care of my small baby.
Okay.
And can you believe I couldn't even talk in English, and now I had to look for someone also to talk to someone also that you have to take care of my baby and this of you know. As a
You
mother,
couldn't even talk to the
I
person who
think
was coming to help you.
yes,
with
I
your-
think all the mothers can imagine how hard
It
it
is.
is.
You are a
Yes,
mother. You are
and
getting
you
someone
had
to help you with children, but
yeah.
you can't even talk to.
talk
You
to
can't
that
even,
one,
Wow.
and you know it's hard.
So
that
you were speaking through a French-speaking person who could understand English.
no, Pastor, I had to use my poor English to talk to someone to help me to get help. So I think everything was God. God was always there for me. So I could get help from someone. So that was that. What happened is like when I had to face through the second interview, what I did is I Googled, as you said, did you try to Google?
Okay.
I Googled what happens during an interview for a secretary position, because now it's another position in the secretary department. So I Googled everything and I was praying. So I was ready. I said, God, I need work. I want to work.
And how to save you?
And I want to save you,
Yes.
especially. And I went through the interview. Like, it was a very different experience.
Okay.
I didn't speak fluently, but I could get what I thought, because I just made connection with the things that I Googled,
Oh,
like
you
this, and
prepared.
with the questions.
Okay.
Like, but remember, during that time, I couldn't even hear very well their accent, because
Okay.
accent was still difficult
still a
for me.
challenge.
Yes, so that was the interview. I praise God, I got the work, because I told you, I saw that I got the experience in the departmental,
Yeah.
as a departmental secretary
When you were in Madagascar.
when I was in Madagascar. So if I said English, English would follow. Yeah. So I got the job, I praise God, I was so grateful. Now in the church, I'm still facing the big challenges one day, because I always prayed, God, I want to be myself. I want to be myself. I used to serve you. Now I'm just quiet in the corner
Because
here
of
in the
this
church because of
language
this language.
limitation.
Yes, limitation. It was just limited. Yes, Pastor, and we prayed. Not far from the interview, someone from the church, the women ministries, as you have mentioned, someone from the women ministries department requested me to do a presentation. It was during the month of September for the Heritage Month. Yes, so she asked many ladies to do presentation in our church. Take turn for the, I think 4 or 5 Sabbath during
During that month.
that month. Yes. So the last one, it will be me. He put me at the end. So I said, no. You know that my English is so poor. It's very poor. How can you ask me to do presentation in the church? I wouldn't even understand what I wanted to tell them. But now, you know what? Let me think about it. Then when I got back home, I shared. Now my husband is already with me. I shared with him, but this is the situation. We always, during your absence, we went to the church. Now someone is asking me to do presentation. So I was thinking many times, should I or shouldn't I? Because we've prayed for the situation that we want to serve, and this is an opportunity. Yes.
Yeah, almost
So,
like William Miller.
Yes. So
Yes.
I decided, let me text. I will do it. So I
Okay.
texted the
Wow,
lady.
that was a
I
text
said,
of faith.
yes. Then I did. I accepted the request. I did during the week, the week prior to the Sabbath day. It was actually meant for plenary session before the Sabbath school lesson. So I said, let me just do presentation. Let me prepare during the week. I couldn't sleep during the night. After work, I was working on my computer just to do presentation, to prepare everything that I would say, I would put on my my PowerPoint. Everything, so that I would just pretend like I'm just presenting, but I will read everything.
All right.
Now what happened?
Notes.
Notes,
In the PowerPoint.
not notes, but everything that I wanted
In the slide.
to say in the slide, I put in the slide. Now, when I go to the church, I was preparing my Malagasy attire because it was, remember, it was heritage, about heritage. So, when I go to church, one of the elders in our church, he's very, he's always sitting in the front. And I was always thinking about him when it comes to me doing presentation, like, oh, he will look at me and he will say something, because he's always, there is always that one in our church, like free to talk and comment.
Church colorful.
Yes, and free to talk and comment when
freely.
when people do presentations. So that's one thing that came to my mind, like, oh, I had to face that, and what I'm going to say, but he came to me. He didn't come to me, but when I arrived in the church early in the morning, he was there. Wow. And he said, "Ooh, you look so special with your Malagasy attire." And I felt confidence, like like at least there is something positive from him. And then that stress was already out. That
That's all right.
Then next thing, the women ministries director joined us early in the morning, and she said, "You know what? You look beautiful." Another compliment, and like, okay, that helps. At least that helps. So she said, when the congregation arrived, you know what she did? She said, "Oliva, I could see that you are very prepared. You're ready for the presentation. Everything is in order. I will pray for you. Go, do everything for 1 hour. I will speak alone there." She didn't even come to me, to the front with me. Yet during the 4 previous Sabbaths, she was always with a lady who presented. But now, when it comes to me, I had to stand alone there. So I prayed.
And for the first time, you have to make a presentation in English.
In
English, it's
for 1 hour.
And you are by yourself.
By myself now.
And of course, Jesus by your side.
Yes, because I prayed, and I could feel that God was with me, because even the way he showed me prior to my presentation, small things happened, but they helped. Yeah, they helped. And when I did my presentation, you know what happened? It was amazing. It was just God. It was not me. I spoke English fluently.
Sure.
I didn't use my PowerPoint.
Wow.
I just shared few pictures, few slides from my presentations. I was talking, and everyone, when you do presentation, I used to do presentation in my home country, and I would tell when people are enjoying or engaged, then that's what happened. That's what happened during that first presentation I did in our church. And
they were spellbound.
Yes, and they were involved, they were active. There were feedback from them when I did the presentation. Like my English was just fluent. It was not me, because I knew the level of my English at that point of time. Yes.
God just took you to another level.
Another level.
And that's exactly the same thing, it's so amazing, listening to your story and experience. Because just a short while before, you were struggling in the interviews. But here, you've got 1 hour before the audience.
Yes.
And that's the story at Pentecost. What happened with the apostles. Because the people that were gathered in Jerusalem were coming from different cultural backgrounds.
Yes,
but
Pastor.
There's a problem, because God wants them to hear the message.
Exactly.
That 50 days before, the Savior of the world was crucified for them. But how are they going to hear, since they don't understand? And God said, okay, I'm going to break the language barrier. And so that is what the Bible calls tongues. Those languages, the ability. So what is unusual there is not the language, but the ability to speak a known
speak.
language
Uh-huh.
which you have not mastered.
Yes, Pastor.
So,
exactly.
you know, so we can say God gave you the gift of tongues to
I
be
can
able
say,
to
Pastor.
communicate fluently the message that He wanted you to communicate to the audience.
Can I continue the story, Pastor?
Yes.
You know, it was amazing.
Yeah.
I told you I didn't use all of the presentation that I prepared for
Yes.
that
Yes.
day.
You only a few slides.
After the, after the morning program, the lady came to me, I got a request from members, can we have another afternoon program this afternoon, if you can do something, because I enjoyed, and it was so short. You know what? I said yes. I felt joy inside of me, serving the Lord, like everything that I've experienced in Madagascar came back to me.
The
The feeling,
joy of
the joy of service, Pastor. And I didn't think twice. I just said yes, we do it. What I did, I just, the spirit of creativity, I just did, let me just do something there to help me to feel comfortable, but I must be creative because now everyone will just see that the poor English is coming back. What I did is to create, move the chairs to the front, put a few chairs to the front, and because you are requesting me to do something, I will request you to participate. So it was, the theme was that I will go. I will go. So it's simple for people to to say something about I will go, their experience about I will go. So at that time I asked few ladies and few gentlemen to do testimonies about I will go, short testimonies. So we picked few of them. I think it was about 8 to do the testimonies. So in between, what I did is just to comment and can you believe the Malagasy, Malagasy lady now? It's speaking in English, and what I did is just to use my notes that I prepared during the week, because I was praying, so God knew the right time why I should use all of
Those
the notes. So what I did after, while they were doing these testimonies, I went through the presentation that I prepared, and I think I need to talk about this now, because the theme was I will go also in the morning, so this point needs to be shared now. So what I did during the afternoon is just to share, and everything was just organized by God, One did testimony, and I found another note related to what she or he shared. So I just did short comment, like I spoke again fluently during the afternoon. Wow. The program was just awesome. So we praise God. I'm so grateful for that very day of special. I had a very special experience during that Sabbath day. And after that one, my life changed when it comes to the English.
When it comes to English,
yes.
So God helped you to build your confidence through serving. And I want to thank God that you accepted the invitation.
Yes.
Because I think that's one thing. Sometimes we never grow, or we never know our full potential, or what we can do, the heights that we can reach, because we want to remain within our zone of comfort.
Indeed.
And especially when it comes to language, there are people who sometimes we never master a language because they say, I'll make a mistake.
Yes. You don't have confidence.
Yes. And because you always want to use the language that you're already comfortable with, you're never going to learn the new language.
Yeah.
And so we have to go out of the zone of our comfort. God has not called us to stay within our zone of comfort. God's business is to take people out. Because that's where the growth happens. Growth cannot happen in your zone of comfort. It happens outside. Yeah, so that's so interesting, and I believe motivating and encouraging to anybody else out there who might be experiencing culture shock and so on. So what else? You have told us about now you are back in your service. Now you're serving God the way you used to do in Madagascar. So what else has been the impact of you learning the English language?
Oh, Pastor, God is good. I'm telling you, we just need to be committed. And as you have heard, all the way where I came from, starting from that 2017, the first day I came in South Africa, God was always there. It's amazing. Can you believe that our church, that church I was talking about, it didn't have pathfinders in the church since it was established 20 years. But now God has chosen me, and of course my husband also supported me to be the one that would launch the pathfinders in the church.
Wow! In that congregation?
In that congregation. So we, even during that time, we praise God. Even the general conference, they were so excited to hear that that church has pathfinder now.
Wow!
And God used me, and I was so grateful for that experience. Because of English, I couldn't do anything. Now I was just committed, and everything just came. God intervened in my life.
Wow.
Besides,
that's a great thing.
yes.
That's a great thing. So you're the inaugural Pathfinder director for
Yeah,
that church. Pathfinder,
that
for those who may
church.
not be members of the Adventist church, is a program for children 10 years to 15 years. It's more like Boy Scouts and Girl Guides combined. It's church-based in the Adventist church. That's what she's talking about, the program that she launched.
Yes.
That's a beautiful thing. And hi to all the Pathfinders there
Yes,
in that
hi.
church.
And besides that, Pastor, now, like this year, I'm serving as a superintendent in the Sabbath school.
Oh!
Okay, I can't even believe that where I came from and now where I am.
And where you are
I'm so
now.
grateful for God, because what I want to share with all the young people, all the viewers, that when you are committed, just give full access to God, to your life, and He will handle everything. Everything is possible with God.
Everything is possible.
Everything is
Even
possible
English,
with God. Even English. Even English. Like last year, we could participate with the impact of South Africa. We was assigned. We've
a
given
preaching station.
yes, we've given a site where we could do the campaign, and we did it as a family. My husband was in charge of adult, myself in charge of the kids. My daughter, she sings, so she did the singing every day.
Wow.
So as a family, we were working together. So the impact, it was so powerful. We praise God. We could non-stop until today. We received update from the members from Cape Town that it was a very successful campaign. One old man who was very sick for years, he could attend, and now he's going to be baptized. He attends the church, and the kids that were in my class, yes, now they're joining the Pathfinder. And that community I want to share with you, it's a community that they just drink, they don't know about God, the kids don't mind about going to church or what. It's a new thing for them, just a new thing. But you know, can you imagine now they're going to church and excited, wearing the Pathfinder's uniform. And just to hear about that, I can't believe that where I came from, and now there was an impact, very great impact of the English in my life. But the key is God.
Yeah.
We need to give Him the key. We need to give Him full access to our life. And we need to be committed.
And to be committed.
Yes.
Give God full access. Be committed. Nothing is impossible with God.
Nothing.
So now it's a missionary family. We are now impacting other people's lives in time, for time and eternity. I mean, and there's no joy like seeing God bring someone into salvation through you,
Yes.
using you as a vessel. The joy is undescribable. You cannot really describe it to somebody else.
No.
You know, the joy, and it even deepens your own experience with
Yes,
God.
Pastor.
Wow, wow. You know, I would have wanted for us to be here and hear more and more and more and more. But of course, we cannot close before you say something. I don't know what in Malagasy. to tell you the truth, I've never had a word in Malagasy.
Uh-huh.
Yes, I don't know what you want to say to our viewers. You can just
Okay.
something short and then you tell us what it means, what you just said.
Oh, okay.
In Malagasy.
In Malagasy?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I'm going to tell you in Malagasy that Tiano Jesus, that means Jesus loves you.
Ah,
Yes.
Tiano Jesus.
Tiano Jesus.
Tiano Jesus.
Tiano Jesus.
Jesus.
Yes, Pastor.
Ah,
Got
Tiano
it.
Jesus. My first words in Malagasy.
Malagasy.
Who knows? Maybe one day I'll be working in Madagascar. So I'll take my Malagasy seriously.
Yes,
And
please,
perhaps my
Pastor.
French also.
Please, Pastor, don't ignore it.
We want to thank God.
Indeed.
Thank you so much, Sister Oliver. We want to appreciate you coming and sharing your story and experience and insights and lessons. I believe this is so encouraging and motivating to people out there. Many times when we are moving to other, like going overseas, we are only careful, to say that, okay, I have my visa, I have my ticket. Many people never even mind to learn, what exactly
What
goes
is going
on there,
to
the
happen?
language. And you can actually get into serious depression.
Indeed.
It can be so frustrating, it can be so big. And that's why we should do everything we can to prepare, even counseling before you
Yes.
travel. You take such a big step. And then also for those who are new in your community, be welcoming. Help them to settle. And so that is a very important work. And just because someone cannot speak, because they don't know the language, does not mean they are dull. Okay? It's only that they don't have the vocabulary. So may God bless us. May God help us. I believe you've learned one or two things from Sister Oliver's story and experience. May God bless you and may God keep you and use you mightily in whatever it is that you do. From Sister Oliver and I, right here in the Mandara studios, we now say bye.
Bye-bye.
Yes, and God bless you.
Just as I am without one plea, but that thy blood was shed for me, and that thou bidst me come to thee, O Lamb of God, I come. I come. Just as I am without one plea, but thy blood was shed for me, and that thou bidst me come to thee, O Lamb of God, I come. I come. Just as I am and waiting not to read my soul of one dark Lord, to thee whose blood can cleanse its born, O Lamb of God, I come. I come. Just as I am, though tossed about with men and con, meltings within and feeds without all lack of God I come. I come. Just as I am poor, shed blind, sight reaches Him, laying off the mind. Yes, all I need in Thee to find all that of God I come. I come. Just as I am, Thou wilt receive, wilt welcome, pardon, cleanse, relieve, because Thy promise I believe. All that of God I come. I come. Just as I am, Thy love I own has broken every barrier down. Now to be Thine and Thine alone, all that of God I come. I